Is that a bargain or no?
I mean, I don't know. I
Wait,
mean,
wait,
you
wait,
got
wait.
cape money. You're walking in with a cape, so you've got cape money. So I guess that's acceptable.
You just forced me to say a dollar amount, and then I said a dollar amount, and then you're like, "That's disgusting, Julie."
I want there to be space for you to be incorrect.
I'm always incorrect, but I sell it like I'm correct, and there's a difference. Welcome to Garage Sales Unhinged.
Where the characters are as quirky as the finds.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jake.
Join us as we dive into the wild world of garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, and anywhere secondhand sales are happening.
From bizarre bargains to hilarious haggles.
You won't believe the stories we've got lined up.
Let's get unhinged. So, Julie, Halloween is around the corner. How do you feel about Halloween?
It's not one of I don't think it's in my top 5 favorite holidays.
Really? There's 5 holidays?
There's more than that.
Explain yourself, because you are in the minority opinion.
Okay, so my number 1 favorite holiday is my birthday.
Yeah.
Second favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Third favorite,
Okay,
mm,
you can't come at us with I've got a top 5 ranking and then stall out at number 3. You're supposed to have
well,
given this some thought.
I gave it as much thought whenever you, like, first said, "Hey, explain yourself." Because 3 and 4, it's almost like a tie between 4th of July and Christmas. Because, like, Christmas, yay, Jesus birthday, and then 4th of July, yay, America birthday, so, like, that's a toss up. And then I think number 5 may be, like, Easter maybe? And then
Dang.
Halloween.
How are you picking Easter over Halloween? I mean, they like, yeah, there's a candy factor for both, but the Easter candy is weak. And it's just jelly beans.
Because 'cause I'm going more to the environment, and usually, like, the climate, the weather at Easter time is better than what happens at Halloween in Texas because it's still stinking hot.
Yeah, agreed. Charlie Brown did do us wrong by, all of the cartoons around, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It looks like it's cold, and the kids are walking around in jackets and stuff. Not fair, not okay. But Thanksgiving is your top actual holiday. Your birthday doesn't count, but
Really.
Thanksgiving's just soft food holiday. It's a day for soft food.
First of all, my birthday is phenomenal, and you're not gonna discount that.
Am I able? I'm not getting, buy one get one for $5 from Panera Bread in light of Julie's birthday. It doesn't count.
I cannot help you to have society conform to the day that I was born to give you some kind of marketing ploy to go spend money. All you gotta do is say, "Happy birthday," and that's all I want. That is all I want. And I'm just gonna celebrate me being alive for 1 more year, and if that means that Halloween is not in my top number 1 slot for holidays, then, hey, my birthday, it's it. It's where it should be.
Well, my wish for you is to maybe turn you on to the holiday a little bit with what we're going to be talking about today. Uh, I love Halloween, uh, not necessarily because I do anything. I just like the idea of it. I like the idea of becoming something else for a brief time, or other people doing so while I, rewatch Stranger Things. That's fine. But in the spirit of the season that's around the corner, I'm going to ask you a question. Name an item.
Apple.
No, well, great job. That was a
Oh,
warm up.
okay.
Name an item that you either have today or that was in your life in your past that you believe was haunted.
That, uh oh, Jacob, you're gonna make everyone think I'm such a weirdo.
No,
Um,
your holiday ranking list already took care of that. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say it was haunted. As a kid, I used to think that my toys would come to life the second I left the room. So it wasn't that they were haunted, it was just, the spirit was in them the second I wasn't looking at them.
So you you kind of were the forerunner for the Toy Story plot. Is that it?
Yeah, Toy Story got it for me. I will say this, of for a haunted item, whenever I bought my first house, way back many moons ago, I had a little orange clock that had a single AA battery in it, and I also had a wall clock that had, 2 AA batteries in it, and the wall clock batteries and the little orange clock batteries, different brands, came from different packages. They actually the batteries died at the same time.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if that's, like, haunting, but
Terrifying stuff.
well, it was terrifying because then I had to go find AA batteries, but
Sure. Great story. Uh,
thanks.
for me, it wasn't an item of mine. It was something that our older brother had. It was a cassette tape. A specific cassette tape. It was the Benedictine monks. Remember, like in the early '90s, everybody, you were either into ska music or the monk chanting. There's only two camps really.
The
Uh,
horror.
yeah, there was the fringe stuff like grunge and everything like that. Nobody was really into that or hip hop, but it was either ska or monk. And he had the Benedictine monk cassette tape, and I think the album was called Chant. You might be familiar with it. It scared me when he played it. And worse, that the cassette player radio in the room that we shared had a little red light on, and that little red light would stay on whenever it was playing a tape. So at night, you hear this echoing, disembodied chanting thing, and it was clearly the devil watching for when I fell asleep.
Or it could have been my toys coming to life at night, and that's how they communicated with each other.
Yeah, I'll have to take it up
Fine.
in therapy.
Our childhood was great. It was fine.
Yeah, totally fine. Well, so haunted items. There's all sorts of crazy things you find online, in person, people are trying to get rid of. And as far as why they're getting rid of it, there's a lot of reasons. Hey, one of them, why not? This thing is, brought me a lot of bad energy and I want to make it your problem, $5.
I just want to make sure that our audience understands we are not talking about if your spouse or your child is bringing in bad energy. This is stuff you can legally sell. So, okay.
Right. So I want to show you a few things that I found in doing some research about this, kind of like trying to get through my trauma by exposing myself to other people's. And I figure I'd make this your problem by showing you some of these things today. How's that sound?
That sounds terrifying.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just grab a few images real quick. And the first thing I'm going to show you is these are a bunch of Reddit listings. Like people pointed out, hey, here's this really creepy thing that somebody was trying to sell. Haha. But first up, you've got a creepy clown doll, hand painted art doll, as the listing says. 165 bucks. Are you able to see this thing?
I can see it and I don't want to.
Okay. So, would you describe what this looks like?
It is a clown. I'm gonna say it's a clown costume on, I'm gonna say, like a porcelain looking doll, but then the face is painted like the clown from Stephen King's It. And yeah, kind of creepy. I mean, I'm sorry, I should not have used that. It is creepy, not kind of, it's creepy.
It's a pipsqueak Pennywise. It's an adorable violation of intellectual property laws. We love it. It's so sweet. Cease and desist immediately.
Oh, that is yeah, it's what nightmares are made of. And then also like this would probably wake me up at 4 a.m. and I would just automatically get up, have a cup of coffee, and wait for the sun to come up and make me feel better.
Hmm. What is it that, I mean, when you talk about haunted stuff, haunted things and items, you had the Annabelle movies here recently. And certainly not the first example of a child doll being the creepy thing in the room. It got me wondering, what makes antique looking baby dolls so creepy?
Well, A couple of things. Dust. Dust is, the devil's dirt. Um, and then, I think it's also the makeup, the paint that was put on them of like it's not really keeping up with the times. I don't see the bat wing eyeshadow on it. It's not a Bratz doll. So I think maybe it's just the vintage clothes. It smells musty. The dust, the hairstyle just isn't popping. I don't
I
know.
like that your kind of your baseline for what is not a threatening, creepy doll is brats.
They're sassy. They're not creepy. But also, like, if you think about it, of whenever you think of creepy doll, what does not come to my mind is like Cabbage Patch Kid. No, they were sweet looking little baby things. But there's some creepy dolls out there that someone tried to make look like a real person, and just no, I don't know. Mm-mm. And then they dress them up like Pennywise, and that's a double no for me.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think the whole creepy doll trope is it's about the unblinking eyes. It's the ever-present watching. It's the closest you get to seeing God watching you make terrible life choices. I,
Yeah, that's why most adults don't have dolls in the house.
well, speak for yourself. But let's move on. So that's one.
I think you might, if you have dolls in the house, Jake, get rid of them.
These were expensive.
Good excuse.
Are you planning a garage sale, yard sale, or estate sale and need some help? Look no further than Garage Sale Supply. They provide top-notch resources and expert advice to help you host the perfect sale. From pricing tips to promotional strategies, they've got you covered. Visit garagesalesupply.com and make your next sale a success.
Let me show you the next one. Okay, so this next listing comes up with a disclaimer. And so if you do end up sharing these with our listeners, uh, like, and they want to click through and they see these things, note, hey, this next one is mature content. And so if Julie, despite what I know of you, I'm going to presume you're mature.
Those are actually two of my favorite words, mature content.
You care to explain?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I'm just going to say yes for the purposes of the episode. We are both mature. It's arguable, but here we go. So yes, the listing here is human bones at market. Cashier got upset when I questioned them. So here we have the item in question. Care to take a swing at this one? Describe what we're looking at.
This looks like possibly like the lower part of someone's jawbone and then maybe a couple of ribs.
Correct.
Human.
That's
Oh, I know my
really
anatomy.
unsettling that you knew that. Can you tell us about the drums in your backyard, the tarp and etc., the hatchets?
Hey, you do your seance the way you want to do it, and I'll do mine the way I want to do it.
You don't. I don't trust the way you do seances because you prefer Easter to Halloween.
Hey, it worked. The first Easter, it did it.
Mm.
But I would also say, like, being a female, one of my favorite things is true crime. And you need to know what those bones look like. So whenever you're out there on that hiking trail and you come across a bone, is it a animal bone, or do you need to call Dateline and be part of the storyline?
It's true that is a pretty handy skill to have. Though I do feel like I'm glad you said it. The whole trope about hey, I'm a girl, I like true crime. The disclaimer there, like the asterisk, and like oh, other people's crime. Crimes happen to other people. That's okay.
Well, yes, I the storytelling behind true crime of crimes that happen to other people, there is something very interesting about it. If it's crime that I committed, it's also fun, but I'm not going to tell people about it.
That's right. Yeah, this is just draft content. It's not for sharing. So what I'm seeing this listing for, it's clearly in some sort of a maybe even a pawn shop. I don't know. You just kind of see the top of a glass case and this, yeah, jawbone, sans, teeth, and maybe some ribs or something, clearly from a person. And it got me wondering, well, what are the ethical implications of selling human bones or of buying them?
Um, I don't think you're supposed to purchase human bones. You have to collect them like the rest of us out in the woods, people. No, I'm kidding.
You
Don't.
have to earn it. We used to be a country.
We need to forage for bones like our ancestors did. No, I feel like there's probably a legal case that says you're not supposed to buy or purchase human bones if you're not part of a, say, like a medical facility, a school to teach people about this stuff. I think it goes into the not taking care of human remains after the fact. So I'm not I'm not a lawyer. I just lawyer people to death. But I think that is my assumption, is you're not supposed to be able to own them.
That sounds right to me. I mean, for all I know, I just wanted to ask. The thing is, too, you are fairly good at the art of the haggle.
Did I just get a compliment from my brother?
Sit down in the compliment corner for a moment. You fairly good at, well, arguing, I'd say. You're very good at being difficult. How about that? Is that better?
I am the freaking best at that.
Yeah. So my challenge to you is, how exactly would you haggle over human remains? You walk up, you act like you're not interested in the jawbone. You circle around back to it over time, and you approach the shop owner. And what's your line of approach when it comes to getting the best possible deal out of this jawbone?
Well, I'm going to assume that I went into this shop knowing that they had it. So I would come prepared with like a little voodoo doll and let the shop owner know, hey, I need these bones for my ceremonies. And if they want to push back on it, then I pull out my voodoo doll and start sticking needles in it until they start to feel a pain somewhere that I'm poking. So this is really a performance haggling.
Interesting. So yeah, you show up as a persona. You think that you're kind of on the defensive because you show up in all the regalia. This guy goes, they don't want to leave here without this, so I'm just going to name my price and they have to take it. But you're going, yes, but I'm going to assault you.
No, because I mean, honestly, they can't call the police on me because I did not physically assault them.
That's true.
But I mean, I'm probably going to walk into the store wearing a cape. And that should be the first sign to call the police if I'm wearing a cape.
Yeah, because you walk in with a cape loudly pronouncing, "It's my birthday."
I'm glad you're getting on the birthday bandwagon. This is great.
If you look closely at this photo, you note the bones and that they have particular prices, like different prices for different bone types. So, Julie, what would you say is a good price for a human jawbone?
Well, is this like the Price is Right for human remains?
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Barker will be rolling in his grave. Yeah, geez, I don't know. So it makes me think of, like, you got two rib bones, you have a jawbone missing the teeth. I mean, is it 2 bits a dollar? Like, what are we doing here? I don't know how much these things are worth. I don't know.
Name a price. Clock's ticking. I've got other buyers.
I'm going to say, to respect the person that possibly donated these items or had them removed from them in some horrible fashion, I don't know, $200?
Wow.
Is that a bargain or no?
I mean, I don't know.
Wait.
Cape money. You're walking in with a cape, so you've got cape money. So I guess that's acceptable.
You just forced me to say a dollar amount, and then I said a dollar amount, and then you're like, "That's disgusting, Julie."
I want there to be space for you to be incorrect.
I'm always incorrect, but I sell it like I'm correct, and there's a difference.
So okay, well here's a follow-up question to that. Of the bones in your body, which would you price the highest?
Oh, probably my skull.
Really, the skull.
Yeah. The
Why?
skull, well, this because my brain is beautiful and it is covering this beautiful piece of my human being. And if someone is going to take my skull, one, I'm dead. Two, um, like, and plus the skull is just pretty freaking cool. It can tell a lot about a person versus like a femur. A femur is gonna say like how tall I was. But like a skull is gonna say, dang, she was beautiful. You know what? Skull, you're right. Why are you making that face?
You're just getting it on the record here that you're all into phrenology. Got it. Okay. You also don't like the holiday that everybody else likes. Nah, all right. And you're saying that the value of the skull is that it contains the brain. So you're saying, okay, what really matters here is packaging. Not sure we should listen to you anymore.
Yet here we are. And also, stop tossing up these questions to just shoot down my answer.
Which bone in your body would you just, toss in as a chaser if someone buys a shoebox full of old hairbrushes?
My second tiny toe. I need my pinky toe. I need the toe that took the pig to market or
Yeah.
wee all the way home. It's the second from the smallest toe they can have.
Oh, this one, the one that had none?
Yeah.
The one that had no roast beef? Yeah. What a loser toe.
Yeah. I mean, I would ask you what bone would you price the most, but you're a dude and I don't want to hear that answer.
Or best offer. I'll just toss it in. I'll just toss it in.
Also, our mother listens to this, so I'm trying to protect you.
So okay, let's keep it moving. Sound okay?
Perfect.
Okay. I am going to share the next thing with you. I like this one because it's fairly unique among the haunted items. Another listing reads 5 ghosts a day. What a steal. So I'm going to just bring up the listing itself. This was on a Facebook Marketplace. All caps, very haunted Ace Hardware hat, $250. There's some description here is that this bad boy pumps out 5 ghosts a day minimum.
I need more. What makes it haunted?
Well, that's not disclosed. What matters is that this is a productive piece. The hat, according to the listing, actually produces ghosts. The portal between planes of existence is a branded Ace Hardware hat, a dirty one at that.
I mean, that tracks. Also, I just want to say, if this person sells this hat for $250, the return on that initial investment is glorious. Because they probably spent maybe, I don't know, $20 on an Ace Hardware hat for them to turn around and then sell it for $250 because it's quote unquote haunted. That's a pretty genius and savvy business person.
Well, and maybe they're underselling it. You don't know because five ghosts a day minimum.
Oh.
Is that standard output?
But wait, what kind of ghosts are they? Like, is it a valley girl? Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, oh my God. Ooh.
Yeah, at 5 ghosts a day, you got to figure it's got to be putting some low quality material out there.
Yeah. And then like, what if the ghost doesn't speak your language? And then you have like a language barrier to try to help them get over to the other side. Or what if the ghost is like the ghost of your neighbor's pet gerbil? Like,
oh, that'd be awesome.
I don't know if that would be like that's for $250. You might be taking on a lot more than just a simple Ace Hardware hat that produces 5 ghosts a day. Like, what do you do with the ghosts after they're produced?
Yeah, I know. They just show up and like, all right, well, I got errands to run. Obviously, some unfinished business. I don't know. I if you're producing at least 5 ghosts a day, you're clearly going for the volume play. Quality is really not the concern. It's about volume. But I wondered, the person that listed this thing, I don't know that you buy an Ace Hardware hat. I think you are assigned one when you're an employee. So maybe this was somebody that worked at Ace Hardware and just, had enough of these experiences. They went, you know what? It's the hat. It's
What if
of all the, not the orphan blood. It's not the sacrificed goats, or it's gotta be the hat. Uh,
What what if it's the lost souls of former Ace Hardware employees? They kept coming back and be like, "Hey, I didn't get that overtime. Can I get that $10.25?"
yeah, I like the idea that the person who gave up this hat quit their job at Ace Hardware and took a competitive offer from Harbor Freight. Yeah,
And
yeah. Thank
so
you.
there's a little
I workshopped that one. All right.
good
I,
use of your time. There's
I
also
enjoyed.
a
Go ahead.
piece of the description that the hat is not just haunted, it is crazy haunted. And I just want to say for those that are trying to sell things online, whenever you're describing something, it's you don't always have to use the word crazy in front of it. Like haunted is pretty serious. You don't
Mm.
need to do more than that. But then to say crazy haunted makes me think of this might not be real.
Yeah, and that there's like grades of haunt. There's crazy haunted, there's adequately haunted, there's reasonably haunted, and there's you wouldn't really even know it. It really just more registers as indigestion.
It's kind of like that orange clock that I had. You didn't really know about it until the battery went out.
Like, I'm late to piano recital. Damn you, ghosts. I enjoy this one a lot because it worked harder. Why is it that the only stuff that tends to get haunted is a human form? It's a doll, it's a painting of a person, something like that. Are ghosts picky about what they inhabit? Give me a haunted loofah. Give me a haunted bottle of olive oil, a haunted Grand Slam breakfast at IHOP.
You know, that haunted loofah idea is not ideal for the spirit that would be haunting it because that loofah is going to see some things and touch some things that pretty sure in your human form life was better than that.
Well, again, it really depends on the individual. So next up, only got a few more to show you. Something called Campbell Soup Boy. Julie, would you describe it, please?
I don't want to. This is horrible. So the main body of it is a Campbell soup can. There's no, you can't tell if it's cream of mushroom or chicken noodle. The white part of it's blank. The top part has the Campbell's logo with the red top on it, and then he has some red arms, and then down below the white part of the can turns into some very tight shorts, and then blue legs below that. And his face looks like it might have been melted on the stove at some point. And I can't tell if it's a ceramic doll or a wax doll, but that face is gonna haunt my dreams. So thanks for showing me this, Jake.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, in terms of like craftsmanship, they did a really nice job. They incorporated this Campbell soup can into, some material that blends really well, and it's very disconcerting to see this emaciated, Father, may I have more face on this can. It's not pleasant, but $40 or best offer. What would you give?
Oh, I would give them $10 to take this down. I don't even want it. Just take it down, bury it in the backyard. Like, no, the eyes of this thing are just pitch black. And anytime that's a something that is supposed to look like a human or an animal and they have pitch black eyes, no thank you, ma'am. I don't want that. And so this one also doesn't really have eyebrows, which again, the pitch black eyes and the no eyebrows, no thank you. No thank you. I don't want that.
I
So
feel like it's definitely one of the more like genuinely disturbing listings we're looking at today. I feel like this one's oddly patriotic in his red, white, and blue. That
you know
palette hue, the emaciation, the dead-eyed stare, like you mentioned, it's evocative of the current state of things. It's
and
great.
here's my brain trying to protect my sensibilities as a person because as I'm looking at this thing, I'm kind of like, it does kind of look like Conan O'Brien. So Campbell Soup Boy might be just a reflection of Conan O'Brien as a a can of Campbell soup. Sorry,
I wonder how Mr. O'Brien would feel about that. I'm sure he listens. Well, we'll ask him. We'll have him on.
ugh, so sorry.
So, okay, last bit. Ready?
Go.
Okay. So what we're looking at is a listing for dolls that might be haunted. Uh, it, so we're looking at a table, two bins set up on this table, both of which have signs on them. Both of these bins are filled with dolls. They might be porcelain, they might be rubber, who knows? But like they're like the small like American Girl dolls or something like that. Uh, whatever. Like the dolls are not noteworthy. They don't look weird or bizarre. They've not been messed with in any way to look creepy. But it's the signs on these on the boxes that they're in. One says not haunted dolls. The other says maybe haunted dolls.
I love that the maybe haunted dolls. So the not haunted dolls are $3 for each one, and these dolls look like they're Victorian dolls. The 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 little girl dolls with the dresses, the poofy hair, some hats. So the non-haunted dolls are $3 each. Maybe haunted dolls are $3.25. So you're paying a premium for the extra spirit you get.
I'm glad you noticed that because that got me too. That's the kicker. There's another 25 cents for that experience. So my question to you is: do we consider being haunted as a product bug or a product feature? And is 25 cents an adequate markup? What
Okay.
market research led to this being the price point? And what would you, Julie, include in a business strategy for selling something that's haunted?
Okay, first of all, you asked me a lot of questions in a very short amount of time, and I don't remember what all they are. So here's just my opinion on this, and I'm going to disregard everything you just asked me.
Right.
I think having something that may be haunted, it should be a premium. And should that premium be an extra 25 cents? No. It should be an extra dollar. I would have made it $4. And I think, and also, okay, if I were going to approach this as the business person that I am, I would have the haunted dolls. So right now they're in like two milk crates. You have the non-haunted dolls with just a sign on them, and then you have another milk crate of maybe haunted dolls with that sign on them. What I would do with maybe haunted is I would actually put them in a glass case, because you don't want that spirit to get released into the rest of your yard sale, and you want to contain it. You really want to show that premium value for that extra dollar. And then that way, whenever you take home your maybe haunted doll, it's ready to go right on the dining room shelf so you can show all your friends at the next dinner party, at your next seance, and it's already contained and no one's having to break open the glass or like trying to, make sure it's being housed correctly before you get it home.
I like that whole setup. I like the idea of like you invite your friends over. Hey, I might have haunted dolls. It's like, hey, we might have a good time. We might have dinner. Maybe we'll do something other than dominoes this time. It's gonna be crazy. Maybe
we're gonna try to talk to Gertrude. Like, I feel like maybe Gertrude's not a good spirit name. I don't know what a good spirit name
I
would
think Gertrude's a great spirit name.
Yeah, Gertie.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
Gertie sounds like she's in it for like a dinner party. Would probably place a game of cards. Like, imagine just setting this doll up at your dinner table in one of the chairs and dealing them in. Like, what if that doll actually wins? One, all your friends need to practice playing cards, but it would also lend some validation to the haunted, maybe haunted.
I think they would win because like these dolls have no tell.
That we know of.
Yeah, I really enjoy the caveat emptor spirit of the setup. The buyer beware. The shop owner here isn't claiming that the dolls are haunted, only that they may be haunted. There's legal disclaimer language here. And it's that the spirit realm status of these items is not the shop purveyor's responsibility. Side effects of purchase may include instances of willful movement, levitation, noise generation, chair stacking, sleep paralysis, spectral shifting, numbness and tingling, rapid heartbeat, insomnia, and death. Ask your doctor if the possibility of haunted dolls is right for you.
I mean, that's a regular Wednesday for me. So
Yeah. It depends on whether you've had paneer. So So, Julie, we started this episode off with the question of, some item in your life that might have been haunted. I'd like to close with another question.
Okay.
If you were inhabiting some object from the spirit world, if you were haunting some object, what would it be? What would you possess, so to speak?
Piano.
God, that was way too quick. You've thought about this. Okay.
One, I love music, and two, like, one, I really want the piano to be tuned. I don't want to haunt a piano that's out of tune. That's ruining my brand. Um, but also, like, I'm here for funsies. And like, if I could haunt a piano and be like, wake you up every morning with the little tinkling of the keys, and it's just a gradual wake up, and then like, hey, I need to remind you to go check the mail, then that would have a theme song to it. So I could just create all these theme songs to narrate your entire life.
And like all of them are just Louie Louie.
But I think it would, like, hey, we're about to sing happy birthday. Like, I got happy birthday on cue. I'm here for you. The piano is doing it. And it's not even like, a player piano, like the ones that you could buy and they just automatically do stuff. It's like, no, just put some little varnish on me, polish me up, make sure I'm tuned, and I'll entertain you for the ages.
That was much dirtier than it needed to be, but we'll take the answer. Tickle my ivories. No.
Wait, what would you embody?
I think for me, the poetic answer would be some writing instrument. Either a pen or a keyboard. That way I can keep inserting stupid jokes whenever someone sat down to leave a negative review because the wait person at Olive Garden didn't make them feel special enough. But in all likelihood, I think I'd haunt a refrigerator.
Hold on. Can we go back to that previous comment? Can you haunt like a Yelp review?
Ooh.
Yeah. Just like this one company, this one restaurant I really don't like. And so my haunting is just to constantly give them a 1-star review and going, I didn't eat here, but I hated it.
Beelzebub agrees. Give him bad heartburn.
Okay, so why a fridge?
I picked the fridge because I feel like it gives you all sorts of fun touch points to mess with. You got the stuff in the fridge. You can mess with the, whether stuff is spoiled or frozen. Every time the person I'm messing with opens the door, the mayo is in a different place. It causes all sorts of tension in the house because she told him where the mayo is at and he can't find it because it's not over there anymore. It's over here. All of the expiration dates read 666. Now you have kale, stuff like that.
You would get exercise so fast. Like, no one needs that. You know what? That refrigerator is going right up there on the interwebs with the Ace Hardware hat.
In the spirit of Halloween, it's all the haunted stuff. If you're listening to this and you don't agree with Julie's holiday rankings, let her know about it. Write in and explain to her why she's wrong. And if you have something to add to this, you have something creepy, hey, what would you pay for a jawbone? Let us know in all the places where you can do that. Julie, what are those?
So they can send us an email to garagesalesunhinged@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, and all the pictures that Jacob showed me today will also haunt your dreams. And you can follow us on Instagram, and our handle is Garage Sales Unhinged.
Julie, have a good one. See you at the sale.
No, I'm going to go wash my eyes out. Talk to you later, Jake.
All right.